Hey guys, so I'm here to do a book review on Looking for Alaska by John Green. I don't actually have the paper copy because I bought it on my Kindle. So yeah. But it is John Green's debut novel, so obviously it was published a while back. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, like how much better it was than some of his other books, and it's like the height of his career, and oh my god, looking for Alaska, looking for Alaska, looking for Alaska. I didn't feel that way. Yeah. So, but let's give a synopsis really fast, and then I'll get back onto my thoughts. So basically, following the main character as he leaves home and goes off to a boarding school, his junior year of high school. It's his first year at the boarding school, and it's, him making friends, and yeah. It's just his life at this boarding school. You can't really give a whole lot. It's just the way he interacts with people, That's what that is. That was a really crappy synopsis. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it's a bunch of high schoolers at a boarding school, living life, learning lessons, Yeah. So, basically, I thought the book was great. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't think it was as fantastic as The Fault in Our Stars. That one, Fault in Our Stars took me on such a roller coaster. I laughed, I cried, and I cried, and then cried some more. But there are also good moments. I laughed with them, I, fell in love with them, and of all the characters in The Fault in Our Stars, and I don't know. I just didn't get that level of connectedness with Looking for Alaska. I really did enjoy the characters. You've got the main character who's obsessed with learning people's last words, which I just thought was it was an interesting concept. I've never really thought about it, like what people say right before they die, and yeah, I've never really thought about it. So that was really cool. And then you've got Alaska herself, who is obsessed with grief, almost. Depression. She's just she's a very down kind of person. She's that I probably could have related to her more when I was actually in high school. Probably my freshman, sophomore year of high school. I was very much that kind of person. The life is abysmal. There's nothing better in life. I feel like I could have related to her a lot more back then. And some of the main focuses in this book was there's a big focus on rich versus poor, because you've got the kids who are at the boarding school on scholarships and come from really poor families and have worked really hard to make their way into the school, and then you've got the rich kids who go home every weekend and they're only there because mommy and daddy are footing the bill. And so you've got the way that those two groups of kids interact, or for the most part don't interact with one another because of the class issues, which I think is a really interesting point. I don't know, class issues are such a big deal, especially in our world today. To highlight that within teenagers, how much that is a part of our society, I thought was really interesting. And you've also got just the whole issue of grief and life and death, and what are we here for and what does it mean? And from what I found, John Green is really good at that. He's really good at why are we here kind of questions, or at least that's what I get out of his novels. Why are we here? That's probably a question that we'll never be able to answer, but it's just something to think about, and Alaska thinks about it, and all the other characters they think about it too. Why are we here? What is our point here? Can one moment change our lives? Can one little moment really affect everything from there on out? Yeah, it's really some deep stuff. And then there's always the teenagers that John Green writes. He's famous for this, for writing really, really highly intelligent teenagers. And although I think it's great, not all teenagers are stupid. Teenagers shouldn't be portrayed as being vacant and shallow and thoughtless, which in so many places they are portrayed that way, which is just wrong. Yeah, you've got your teenagers who don't think things through and make dumb decisions, but even as you can tell in John Green's works, his teenagers make some stupid decisions and they don't think things through all the way, but they're intelligent. What's going on? Like, is it so hard to believe that Alaska could be a teenager who, you know, uses big words and reads a lot? Like, there are teenagers out there like that. I do think in some of his characters he pushes the limits of what I think a teenager would actually act like. Yeah. Overall, I don't think there's anything wrong with making intelligent characters, and especially if these are the characters that you want real-life teenagers to read about and relate to, and then they can sit there and go, oh, well, I could be intelligent, you know, I could actually have opinions and think things through, and there's nothing wrong with that. So overall, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't quite up here with The Fault in Our Stars. It was right down here, but it wasn't bad at all. It was actually a really good read. I would recommend it to most everybody, and yeah, that's all I got for you. Bye, guys.